Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Mike, and we're going to dive into software license management, a crucial but often overlooked part of IT asset management. Whether you're managing hundreds or thousands of software licenses, there's one thing we all know. It's easy to lose track of costs, access, and security risks. Companies are spending more than ever on software, but most businesses don't realize how much is wasted. Today, we're going to break that down and show you exactly how to fix it using Reftab. The average company spends $9,600 per employee on SaaS every year. But here's the issue. 50% of those licenses go unused for more than 90 days. That means thousands of dollars per employee are wasted annually on software that no one is even using. The problem isn't just cost, it's also visibility. If you don't know who is using what, you can't optimize your renewals, reduce unnecessary spending, or identify security vulnerabilities from outdated applications. And speaking of security, 52% of organizations report that they can't keep up with CVE updates for installed applications. That's a huge security risk. If you don't know what software is running on your devices, you don't know what vulnerabilities exist in your environment. And that's where Reftab comes in. Reftab gives you a single automated platform to manage all of this: tracking utilization, optimizing renewals, and securing your environment. Today, we're going to take you through the entire software license lifecycle in Reftab, including setting up SaaS Discovery to automatically track those applications, creating and managing your licenses, some best practices there, running those app surveys to optimize renewals, and finally, tracking installed applications and identifying those vulnerabilities we spoke about. By the end of this session, you'll know exactly how to take control of your software management and start saving money while keeping your environment secure. All right, so we'll get started here. We'll hop into Reftab, and the first thing that we need to do is we need to set up that SaaS Discovery. So if we head into settings and then integrations, you'll notice we do have those integrations with Microsoft 365 and Azure SaaS Discovery. We also have Okta SaaS Discovery. So whichever is your identity provider, go ahead and set up that integration first. You can see some links down in the chat for how exactly to set those up. Once those integrations are set, you can come back in here and refresh that applications list. And on the left side, you'll see all of your Azure applications now in Reftab. Now that we have these Azure applications, we need to create a license. So before I get to that license tab, I want to use this as a mod help desk, and I want to create the license directly from this integrations page. Once I create that license, it's going to name it Zamad Help Desk, exactly what I chose there, and I can pick it at the bottom of this drop-down. Once it's selected, go ahead and click Save Settings. We can then back out of this page, and we're going to click Sync Now. So we just want to pull all of those users that are in Azure that currently have access to Zamad. Once we do that, we can head over to this license tab, and we can find that Zamad Help Desk license that we just created. And there they are. We have those 7 users already populated. But what we need to do is we need to add that extra information that Reftab doesn't have. How many seats did we purchase? So for this one, we've purchased 10 seats. We'll go ahead and enter that in. We also have the minimum seat alert. This alert gives you that email. So we're at 10. We have 7 checked out. So we're going to set this to 2. If I give this to one more user, I'm going to get an alert. Hey, Zamad's running low. We may need to go up the subscription there. The other information that we need, expiration dates. When does this license renew? So we'll set this out for a year. Next one here, the license to email. Who is actually going to get the email that this license is expiring? So whoever the owner of this license is, whoever manages this, add their email there. This next piece, this is fairly important. This comes into play when we start using those app surveys. How far in advance do we want to get that email? 30, 45, even 60 days before that license expires. I always recommend going a bit further, setting it to that 45-day alert. This way, we give our users time to answer those application surveys. So we'll set this one to 45 days, and we'll scroll down to the bottom here. We have a bit more information that we do need to enter for this license. So we've added a few custom fields here. As you see, we have the project business owner, billing cycle, department. The big one here is that cost per license, department, and the billing cycle. Those are the big ones. Who are we charging this to? How often does it get charged? And how much is it? So for this one, this is on that yearly cycle. We'll keep the department blank for this, and we'll just pick a number out of a hat here and say it's $125 per license. Once that's set, we can head back up to the top, save this license, and we've created a license in Reftab. We've already assigned the users to this license. We've already added all of the financial information that we need. From this point, we can begin talking about managing this license, going through those expiration dates, sending out those surveys. Now that we have our license set up, the next step we need to do is set up our application surveys. As we mentioned, we have our expiration dates. We're setting those to 45 days out. What we want to do, as soon as we receive that 45-day notice that Zamad is expiring, we want to send a survey to all of our users. So if we head in to settings, loan options, you'll see down the bottom here, set up license surveys. There's only one question that you really need for these license surveys. Do you need this software? That one question allows us to make the decisions. Can we remove it from this user? Should this user keep it? If we decide to remove it from the user, Reftab's going to let you know, hey, here's how much money you can save with this license. The other questions that you see, how often do you use this software? That's a fully custom question, as well as if not using it, what's the reason? Feel free, add as many questions as you would like. Once you add these questions, go ahead and save that survey. We can head straight back into Zamad. So running through that process, we get the email, hey, Zamad's expiring in 45 days. Awesome. I come into Reftab, head to Zamad, I'll click this checkbox here, send that survey to all of the users that currently have Zamad assigned to them. Optionally, I can send this to their managers as well. I want the manager to make the decision on whether or not this user needs this license. I'm not going to send it to everyone for this. I'll just send it to myself. I'm not going to fill anything out. We'll just send one survey. And you can see, is the software needed? It is currently pending that response. So if you guys are familiar with our custody verifications, the license surveys are very, very similar. If you want to head and view this survey, you can do so through here. It's very simple. Do you need that software? No, I do not. I never use this software. My role has changed in work. I don't need this license anymore. So again, this is your end user going through. They just received the notice. Zamad Help Desk,
No, I don't need it. That's all right. We'll submit this survey. So for your end users, this is quick. It's easy. We see a lot of adoption with this feature is it doesn't take them much time to complete it. It's a few questions. They move on with their day. But for you guys, now that has been answered, you can see our software needed is no. Reftab gives you that notice. Hey, potential savings. You can save $125 with this license here. And that number comes directly from that cost per license value there. So again, as we're setting up these fields on our licenses, take all of this into account. Make sure we have the information. How much is it? What is the cost per license? Are they charged by seat? Is it usage based? Keep all of this in mind. We need to know the billing cycles as well. That's going to help you guys set those expiration dates, the 45-day reminders. Make sure we have enough time to get these surveys out to our users so we have time for our users to answer. And more importantly, we have enough time to go to Zamad and say, hey, Zamad, I know I was paying for 10 seats. This time I'm going to pay for 9. We'll save $125 there. So keep all of this in mind. Fill out your licenses as much as you can. Put as much information in there. That's going to help you guys make those informed decisions in the future. Start saving some money. So we spent a lot of time talking about SaaS licenses, setting up SaaS Discovery, creating, managing those licenses. But a big issue that we see are the installed applications, those actual vulnerabilities to your infrastructure. So what's new at Reftab, what we now offer is through our integrations of Jamf and Intune, we do have the ability to pull in those installed applications. So if you haven't already set up Jamf, if you haven't already set up Intune, please go do so. What we can do now is pull in that installed applications. So if I take a look, I do have an asset in here that we are getting through Jamf. So Michael's MacBook Air, this is pulled through Jamf for us. If I head down to this licenses and software tab, I'll see all of the installed applications on this asset. Each time you do come to this tab, we are checking the CVE index for a new vulnerability. So this is always updating. Every time you open that tab, hey, we're taking a look. We're going to query the version of each individual application, and we'll let you know if there are any vulnerabilities found. A few things to mention as we go through this table here. You'll see the name, the version, type, publisher, some vulnerabilities, and the highest CVE that we have found. As you know, as you're dealing with these installed applications, they aren't always pretty. The name doesn't come over as pretty as Visual Studio Code printed just like that. What we've been doing on our end is we've been building a database. We've used a bit of machine learning to go through and pretty up these names, figure the type and the publisher for you guys. So when you're taking a look at this table, there's no deciphering. You know exactly what applications it is. What is the type of the application? Who is that publisher? We've done all of that for you guys. So we've built a database of almost 3 million applications at this point. So anything you guys are using, you'll be able to take a look and know exactly what is going on. The key thing that we keep talking about are vulnerabilities, identifying what those vulnerabilities are. So what we do for these tables, at the top of this list, you'll always have the application with the highest vulnerabilities. For us, this is this Visual Studio Code. It does have 11 vulnerabilities, and it does have that CVE score of 7.8 for the highest vulnerability. So this was published back in August of 2020. There has been an update for Visual Studio Code. We have decided not to update to show you guys how the vulnerabilities work. At any point in time, feel free. If you want to learn more about these vulnerabilities, you can click this link here. This will take you directly to that cve.org, and you can learn a little bit of the vulnerabilities, the severities, so on and so forth. Once you decide, hey, Visual Studio Code does have an update, let's release this update. Let's get this out to everyone. Let's patch that vulnerability. All you need to do, head back into your integrations, sync now after you've updated that application. If you come back into this tab, you'll see each time we open this tab, we are updating that vulnerability list. We'll see, hey, this is a new version. That version does not have any known vulnerabilities. So keep an eye on those installed applications. It's opening you guys up to a lot of vulnerabilities. Keep an eye here. Stay on top of your infrastructure. We've talked a lot about saving money. This piece is that security. Stay safe. Manage all of your installed applications. Keep an eye on what is out there. As we wrap up today's session, let's take a step back and look at what all this means for you and your organization. Managing software effectively isn't just about tracking what applications you have. It's about cutting costs and securing your infrastructure. Without proper visibility, you risk paying for licenses you don't need, exposing your company to unnecessary vulnerabilities, and spending hours on manual tracking that could be automated. By using Reftab SaaS Discovery, app surveys, and license utilization tools, you're not just tracking software. You're making data-driven decisions that impact your company's bottom line. Think about it this way. If your organization spends $9,600 per employee on software every year, and we know that 50% of these licenses go unused, then just by identifying and eliminating unused software, you could be saving thousands without impacting productivity. Even better, these savings compound year over year, ensuring your IT budget is spent where it truly matters. But software management isn't just about cost. It's also about security. With Reftab's vulnerability tracking, you gain instant insight into which applications pose a risk to your organization. Instead of reacting after a security incident occurs, you can proactively monitor installed applications, identify those high-risk vulnerabilities, and ensure your systems are up to date, all in one place. With cyber threats evolving daily, having real-time visibility into your software environment is crucial. You can't protect what you can't see. And with Reftab, you'll always have the insight you need to stay ahead of those potential threats. I encourage you, log into Reftab today and start optimizing your software management. Check your license utilization, identify what's being used and what's not. Send an app survey, get real feedback before your next renewal. And then review those installed applications. You can take action on vulnerabilities and secure your infrastructure. You already have the tools. You just need to start using them to reduce costs and protect your organization. And always remember, our customer success team is here to help. If you have any questions or you need guidance, just email us. It's help@reftab.com. We're happy to assist you in making the most of Reftab. Thank you again for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing how you optimize your software management with Reftab.